Welcome, everybody, to your midweek connection. I'm Robin Robinson. This is other news, and it's going to sound a lot like news maybe that you've heard before. It is actually October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so you've probably been hearing more about breast cancer than you usually do. But that's part of the power of sharing is that we address things by not being afraid to talk about. Breast cancer is very personal, ranges from one person to the next, but there's also racial disparity in health outcomes to breast cancer. And just about everyone I've ever spoken with about breast cancer who's experienced it talks about the feeling of isolation. And I recently met a woman who, instead of just feeling isolated, she did something about it. It's almost cliche to say turn your power into purpose or your pain into power. But she's really done it. She has started a foundation based on her experience that is helping women, that she didn't even know, and who knows, and she probably doesn't know everybody that she does help. It's called the Tasha Foundation. And take a little look at what the butterflies that Tasha has anointed to do this work, what they go through it to come to a space of healing and connection.
Comes natural.
Yes. Then they kick us to the side because of this dense breast.
Right.
And so they don't dig deeper.
Right.
And
I feel amazing. I feel like we can help so many women.
Girl, don't you start crying on me.
We can reach out and just make them realize they're not alone. That's what I want to take away, that I want to help. I'm still on my journey. Mm-hmm. I'm constantly thriving through this survivorship of 21 years. Mm-hmm. Every day I wake up and I say, wow, I'm here. Every day is October.
I said, I need a second opinion. Almost.
So still on her journey, but she is not on that journey alone, which means that the other people that are with her are also not alone, which is an amazing thing. Please welcome Tasha Joyner from the Tasha Joyner Foundation. How are you?
Hello, Robin. How are you today?
I'm doing well. So 21 years since your own breast cancer diagnosis.
Yes, 21 years.
Did you know at the time that you were going to make it part of your life's purpose and work?
Who knows what happens the next day, right? Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? So no, I had no idea that being diagnosed was going to turn and evolve into a passion of saving others.
And was it because it was something that you wished you'd had? Is that why was that part of your motivation? You wished you'd had a kind of a sisterhood, a collective that you could lean on?
Yeah, I wish there was something for me 21 years ago. The only thing there was go to a meeting and hear women talk about the woes of being diagnosed. And for me, I didn't have any woes because I had just had my baby. So I was in a time of joy. So to have the joy of giving birth to my only child and the woe, if you will, of being diagnosed, I couldn't have that woe be part of my joy.
Okay. So you didn't let the diagnosis take you down. You got right about the business of problem solving. Do you mind sharing, what the outcome appeared likely to be and what ultimately happened?
Absolutely. So when I was diagnosed, Robin, I had never had a mammogram in my life. I was 36 years old when I had my first child. And literature tells us to wait until you're 40 before you have your first mammogram. And because I was proactive and felt this burning sensation in my left breast, I said something doesn't seem right. So I went and talked to my primary care physician. And in doing that, that's when she found the mass. I wasn't going for a mammogram. I was going to check my left breast is burning. Why is my left breast burning? And I had just finished nursing.
Since we may have lost.
Yeah, so that's why I went to the doctor to find out, and that's when she found the mass.
Wow. So what did you end up having to do?
I end up getting a second opinion, first of all, to make sure. And then I had a left breast mastectomy. It was called a skin sparing mastectomy, meaning they spare some of the skin in order to create a nipple.
Oh.
Okay. So remove the breast, had it reconstructed with a tram flap, which is where they take the muscle, fat, and tissue from your abdomen and rebuild your breast. So I had my breast reconstructed using my own body fat. After having that done, it was a 9-hour surgery. It was 4 hours to remove the breast and 5 hours to reconstruct the breast. Robin, that was February 2003. And in July for my birthday, I went away with my husband and I get a call from my doctor asking me to come back into her office. And I'm thinking she's calling me to tell me to come get my nipple tattoo appointment.
Mm-hmm.
When I came back to town, I went to her office and she told me she didn't get all the cancer.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had already been reconstructed, went through a 9-hour surgery, been walking around for 5 months thinking I'm cancer free with a reconstructed breast, only for her to say we didn't get it all. So they had to go back and remove the reconstruction, do a deeper cavity mastectomy. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I don't need it reconstructed anymore. My breast did what it was supposed to do. It fed my son. And I do not need a breast because my breasts do not define me.
Wow. Now that's strength. And I have to say that you stood by that. There is a photo that is it's a beautiful, glamorous photo, but it is of your where your breast was. It is of the mastectomy. Do you mind if we show that photo? I mean,
Absolutely. Please share.
because you are strong. Just can you all see this? No, we'll show it to you in a little while, but it's going to be there, I promise. And what I love about that photo is you were doing it yourself, and then your husband said, "Can I be in this picture with you?"
Exactly, Robin. It wasn't supposed to be a campaign. That's what started my foundation. It was supposed to be a glamour shot. It was supposed to be just of me. I was going to have my lashes, my hair, my boa. It was supposed to be a photograph of me to my husband to hang in our bedroom just for us. And he said, I want to be in the picture with you. And I was like, why are you in the picture with me? It's supposed to be a picture of me to you. I want to be in the picture with you. And that's how that happened.
It is a loving and sexy and like it's a intimate, lovely picture. So when we do show it everybody, that's my opinion, right? What do I know? There it is. That's you and your husband, and it is. It's like true intimacy, and it also answers a question that women may have: what will it look like if I have a mastectomy? Right? What will be there? What will what's the scarring look like? And it's just a chest. It kind of takes some of the scary mystery out of it as well, which you have been doing with women in person and kind of systemically through your foundation ever since. That first clip we saw was from a docuseries that is being produced about the Tasha Joyner Foundation and your ambassadors, who you call butterflies. Am I right?
That's correct. Yeah, the concept of the butterfly from the caterpillar to the cocoon and to the immersion of a beautiful butterfly takes you through those stages. So every woman who comes across the threshold in the foundation has gone through those stages. They were a caterpillar, which is the diagnosis. The cocoon stage is that metamorphosis, chemo, losing hair, losing weight, gaining weight. And then the butterfly is the immersion of I'm done with treatment and now I'm healed.
Going back into the world.
Yes.
So I would like to introduce the producer of the docuseries, who was one of your partners on this journey, Traci Campbell. Traci, are you able to join us now? We're going to try to we'll squeeze over and get hello.
Hello, Robin. Hello, Tasha. Thank you for having me here.
So I understand. So you have a TV network. You're BeSpire TV.
Yes.
And you're producing a docuseries on on what Tasha's foundation has done and is doing. How did you come about deciding that this was something that would be good content?
Well, BeSpire TV, our slogan is be informed, be entertained, be inspired. And I've known Tasha since 2015. Our 501c3, the Bebo Beauty and Beauty Out Foundation, honored her in 2015, I believe. And she was nominated because of the work through the Tasha C. Joyner Foundation. And she and I hit it off. So after the award ceremony, after all the glitz and the glam, we developed a rapport, a friendship, and I began to learn about this incredible group of women, the butterflies. And she invited me to one of their pillow talk sessions, a monthly session, which Tasha is still doing today, and hence it's the foundation, if you will, for this docuseries. I joined her one evening in Bronzeville at one of their pillow talk sessions, and Robin, all I can say is that I went through every emotion I can think of right now. I was laughing one minute, crying the next, had to step out, step back, and it was just amazing to see Tasha's passion and her support of these women and how they all came together, and women who were newly diagnosed, women who were currently in treatment, and then of course those ladies who are now the butterflies, as Tasha described. To see that pillow talk session and to see the passion and to see the camaraderie and the sisterhood, I was just blown away. And so fast forward many years later, now that we have BeSpire TV, our streaming network on Roku and Amazon Fire, I said to Tasha, I said, it would be phenomenal to bring what she does to Black and brown women, the camaraderie, the sisterhood, the information, to bring that to the screen so that we can see that not only is breast cancer an issue that minority communities don't get the information that they need. They don't see what they need to see in terms of how this disease has affected so many women of color, but also to showcase just the love and the support and the incredible mission that Tasha has here.
You might even inspire some replicas. That would be very cool.
Absolutely.
To see these community building thing kind of spread. Now you hit on something about communities of color and not having necessarily the access to the information. We also tend to not talk about it as we don't treat anything with cancer. We treat it. I say we treat it like a STD, like we did.
Right.
Had unsafe sex. Not that we should not talk about that as well, but it's people used to whisper. She's got
Absolutely.
I'm actually I work with Barbara Bates, who this is a Barbara Bates design, by the way. It's vintage. It's like 30 years old. But she said to me, and it just stuck with me. She said, "You know what? After I got breast cancer, and I told everybody. I told the janitor, the delivery man, everybody." She says, and then all my friends start saying, "Oh, I had it in 19 so I had it in 2000." She said, "If y'all had said something, maybe I would have gotten a mammography. Maybe I would have gone to get a mammogram. Maybe I would have been more aware and not waited till I felt a lump." But people don't speak up. So this speaking out thing is life saving.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Tasha, of course, is an expert in this space. But just from my perspective and the perspective of our team shooting that docuseries over a very long day a few months back, and just being there in the room, hearing the stories, hearing the journeys. And these ladies are fearless. They don't mind being vulnerable and sharing exactly what this journey is like. There's ups and downs, highs and lows. And this is what other people, especially other women of color specifically, need to see so that they can get the help and the support. And I hope a lot of them will see this and will align with what Tasha is doing, especially Black and brown women, to get the support that they need.
Because the outcomes are different. They're worse. We are disproportionately more likely to get some of the more aggressive forms of breast cancer, triple
Yes.
negative breast cancer, and are disproportionately more likely to have fatal as compared to white women. And trying to find out the reasons for some of that. Some of it is access to the latest technology of mammography. Some of it is just going, right? Maybe you had access, but you just don't go. Some of it is physiological. I know that there's a big push now to include everybody in some of these clinical trials, right? So you only test things out on a certain type of person. The rest of the people just got to hope it's going to work for them.
Exactly. Exactly.
But we tend to not be that trusting too. Somebody says, I need to be in this clinical trial. We can remember, that American medical establishment has not always been good to black people.
Right. And my son is a student at Tuskegee University, and as you know, that whole Tuskegee experiment, we are not trusting people at all. Even when the COVID came, I'm not taking that shot. I don't know what they're giving me. It is a trust issue.
All of us, yes.
Yes,
There is some well-earned mistrust. But now that we have some Black medical professionals, as well as researchers and companies who really are interested in health equity, I know we like to pick on big pharma a lot as being greedy bastards, but I do believe that there's some very good work going on with the best of intentions to try to get more Black people into clinical trials. I mean, think about it in COVID when they developed that vaccine so quickly. And then somebody said, well, is it okay to take it if you're pregnant? And nobody knew because nobody pregnant was in the trial, right? So we got to be part of the clinical trials, and we've got to find some trusted people to help people, feel okay about doing that. But health equity in general, right? Breast cancer is what we're talking about, but in almost every type of cancer, if you're Black and you get it, your outcomes are worse. So how do we, and for all the other inequities that there are, education, housing, wealth, health inequity seems the most cruel. I mean, it's your life matters just as much as someone else's life.
Absolutely.
How do your ambassadors, how do your butterflies contribute to advancing health equity?
It's like each one teach one, right? So when you get diagnosed, you have to know everything about your diagnosis in order to be able to share and explain what you went through, and whoever you talk to, maybe they didn't go through the same thing you went through, but they can have an overall idea of what to expect. So it may not be the same type. There are different types and different stages, right? So the types and the stages are different, but depending on who I am, for instance, my type was DCIS, which stands for ductal carcinoma in situ. Ductal is milk duct. Carcinoma is cancer. In situ means contained. So I had breast cancer in my milk ducts that was contained, meaning it didn't break through and spread. I was stage 1. So me talking to someone who's a triple negative stage 3 or is a HER2 stage 4, their treatment plan is different and how they feel is different because it's a different stage and a different grade. But even though it's breast cancer, what we try to do in the foundation, Robin, is pair a newly diagnosed woman with a veteran or an ambassador, if you will, who has that same type of cancer or had that same type of cancer. And that way, the newly diagnosed woman will have firsthand what to expect based on what she went through and DNA. We're African American, so.
Yes, there are some similarities in the DNA. That's incredible. Just what you just said. It's like you're speaking another language. So we don't know what those letters and numbers mean. It's I just happen to know because I read that triple negative breast cancer is disproportionately impacting African American women. They can't figure out why. That's the extent of my knowledge. I presume that a doctor I don't know what you guys help me out. If they wouldn't just throw out those numbers and letters to you, they would explain it. The way you just explained it was beautiful.
Right. That jargon, that
Yes.
medical jargon, you need an advocate like a Tasha Joyner, like a Gail Briggs, who is an RN and she is a butterfly and she's on my board, like a Joanne Glenn, who is PhD, a nurse of 45 years, she's on my board. So we have experienced people in our camp that we go to the doctor appointments with a newly diagnosed woman. That's part of the fundraising. We provide medication assistance. We provide transportation to and from chemo because some family members cannot take off work for 6 and 8 hours a day to go to that chemo treatment with that person. So we have people on our staff that go and sit with you. We have a driver that picks you up and comes back and picks you up and takes you home. We come into your home and we teach you how to milk your tubes rather than having a medical person from the hospital come in who may not be African American. So we are our sister's keeper. So we have a group of women who will come in. If you have children, we do homework with the kids so that you can rest. I mean, I can go on and on about what the foundation provides and what we do and what we have been doing for 15 years. Robin, this is my passion, my life. I love my ladies and I will do anything for them. And I have a team of people who will go to bat for them.
Wow. From translating the jargon to accompaniment along the journey. That's incredible. I see why you were interested in doing a docuseries on this, Traci.
One thing I do want to add, and Tasha, I know this may not be the primary audience, if you will, for the ladies, but in the docuseries, we touch upon the men that are affected by their loved one, whether that be their wife, their sister, their daughter, having gone through the cancer journey with that person, in some cases losing that loved one. And we cover that in the docuseries as well, because that's another thing. We talk about women of color, especially dealing with breast cancer. And again, our numbers are through the roof compared to our Caucasian counterparts. But again, we don't talk about how it affects the men in our lives, our brothers, our sisters, our husbands, and so forth. And so that's something that we touch upon as well. And again, Tasha's organization has done an incredible job of being inclusive of not just the women themselves, but also the extended family, because they are adversely affected as well.
That's right, all in this together. Amazing. And I know that this stuff doesn't just happen for free. And you mentioned fundraising, and on the 19th of October, you guys have a big event.
Yes. Every year, Robin, we try to celebrate life after cancer. We don't do awareness. We don't do free mammogram kind of parties. There's other organizations out here that's doing a wonderful job with raising awareness and doing all that. We celebrate life after cancer because the purpose of doing that is it can come back, Robin. It can come back. And every time I feel a pain, or any breast cancer survivor who has gotten the diagnosis of in remission, every time they feel a pain anywhere in their body, their first thought is it back? So we're not just surviving, we're thriving, because it takes a mental toll on us. And so we're celebrating our life every single day.
Our technology is not always our friend, but I'll tell you what we are going to have is a great time on October 19th. And we will definitely put a link here on somewhere around here. We'll have a link for the Bow Gala. And thank you so much, the Tasha C. Joyner Foundation, to celebrate life after cancer and create that community and fellowship that can make all the difference on the journey. And Traci Campbell, who is producing a docuseries about this so that it can be shared beyond those that have the blessing of actually being served by your foundation. Thanks so much, ladies, both of you for joining us. And I see you soon at the party, okay?
Thank you. Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye bye. Wow, it's amazing what people can do based on something that happened to them that seemed like the worst thing in the world at the time. But then they turn that pain into purpose and spread that to bring joy to other people. So it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As my good friend Barbara Bates said, don't keep it a secret like you did something wrong. Try to let people know that it happens, and it happens disproportionately in some communities, and we have to take care of one another, and we have to be proactive about our health so that we can achieve health equity. We want to at least be as healthy as the next person, right? You certainly shouldn't be able to judge what your outcome is going to be from a health crisis just based on whether or not you're Black or not. So take control of your own health, and Breast Cancer Awareness Month is a good time to focus on just that. I'll see you soon. I'm Robin Robinson. This has been Little Other News.